How are you today?
Good. Forgive us.
Yeah.
Be kind. Jesse's in the background. So, like, you know what I mean?
Actually working.
Actually working, okay.
Or one.
One lone employee.
Hi, I'm Kearston.
And I'm Shelly.
We're from Hopeless Romantic Books, and today I'm going to be asking our expert at Heated Rivalry, Shelly, how our meet and greet event all happened, what went down, how did we even get there?
I was gonna say, I know Kirsten was about to like launch into questions, but before we start, I did want to mention that the only reason we're filming this because we haven't filmed it before, and it's been I think 2 months since the event. But I did post on Threads because I'm unhinged on there. I was like, yeah, if we get 200 orders for Unrivaled in one day, we'll just finally post it. And then we have like over 280 orders in like 24 hours, which is bonkers. I think, especially as a small women-owned business. So yes, I want to say thank you all for pre-ordering and that this video is only possible because of your support, and also to all the people who actually like attended our event in November and we're waiting out in the cold just to meet the cast. Like, you guys are rock stars. So anyway, I have to do little disclaimers. So before you start.
Yeah, thank you, Shelly.
And that's why I'm the manager and she's just the owner.
Exactly, the real brains of the business.
Yes.
I'm not ashamed to say.
Yes.
So our number one question is like, how did we even get this opportunity? What happened? Like, how did we get here?
Mhm.
And it is a bit of a big story, I will say. So I have told Shelly that I want to hear the whole thing. I already know it, of course, but I want them to share.
Yeah. Well, big story, I guess, is loose, but it's took many months in the sense that like I've been a Heated Rivalry and Rachel Reid fan for many years, and she lives in Halifax, as many of you know, and so she rarely does Toronto bookish events. But in May of last year, she attended like a romance convention that I went to. I was like so nervous to meet her, but I was like, okay, I'm determined. I'm gonna get Hopeless Romantic Books a signing with Rachel Reid, and this was before even the TV show. I was just like, if she comes, I will find people to attend the signing. Like, these books are amazing. So I waited in line to meet her, and then when I finally met her, I had a bookmark. You know, our bookmarks have how they have all our emails and stuff. So I gave that to her, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a manager of Hopeless Romantic Books. Like, I love your books. Like, please, like, if you ever come to Toronto again, let's do a signing. I definitely stuttered the whole time because, like, as much as it may seem like I'm like so confident in this and that, which partially I am, but the other half of it is like, if I'm really excited about something, like, I'll stutter and I'll misspeak. So
do not underestimate Shelly in front of like their biggest fandom for sure.
Yeah, but I was like dying. So anyway, so Rachel was like, yeah, like for sure, like we should do something. So we emailed back and forth like over the summer, and it just never panned out for Rachel to come here to do a signing. So then in the fall, when the TV show was being made and like everything was going on with that, she sent me an email, and like I vividly remember this moment. I was like at the counter over there and like literally let out blood curdling scream. I think Kearston was there too, and Kearston was like, what the hell, like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, you don't understand this email that I just got from Rachel Reid. And it was basically like, oh, Shelly, the production team would like to do an event in Toronto for the book fans, so I've recommended your store, like they'll reach out to you. And I was like, oh my god, best day of my life. I like screenshot it, I sent it to like only my like very close personal friends, one of whom is Jesse, who's back there like working. If you see him working, that's who he is. But I was like, I'm like literally dying. I cannot believe this is my life. And then like a couple hours later, the production team did actually reach out to me, and we went back and forth quite a bit, like meetings, planning, like all that fun stuff. And then yeah, we had a date and time, November 26th. The cast of the show and Rachel Reid were here. So that's the, I guess, the long version, but also the short version, because there's like so many little details and calls and planning. And it was like I could not sleep for like 2 weeks leading up to the event, because, you know, I'll probably mention about this at some point, I'm sure. But like my biggest thing was like I just didn't want all these people who like wanted to meet the cast like not get that opportunity. And I was like really like on it, like during the event itself, which I also, I guess we should talk about. I don't know if it's the questions of like recap the whole event.
We'll get into it.
But during the event itself, I was like, my number one thing is like, I just don't want anyone to be disappointed. So like I could not sleep like leading up to it, because I was like, this is so big. And this is kind of before the show even blew up, because it took place 2 days before the premiere of episode 1 on Crave. And I was still like so worried, but that's because I'm a K-pop fan. So I've seen it all. I was like, I'm not gonna let hopeless romantic books, like, you know, like the business that I care so much about, be dragged through the mud because of like my feelings. So I definitely like, took it on personally. Maybe that's too much info. I don't think the inner people care, but just so you know, that was my mental health during that time.
No, truly it was. I will say, like, it was probably one of the smoothest events we ran, even though it was like one of the most complicated events that
Yeah.
we had to really configure. And I think that was because we took it very seriously.
Yeah.
And Shelly definitely had like a very strict plan and was very close in touch with like the production team and how everything was going to
Yes.
run there as well.
Mhm.
So I think a bit in that sense, like the craziness
Yeah.
of that time was like a blessing for when the actual event happened.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
So on that note, can
Yeah.
you talk a little bit about like what you were thinking for when you were envisioning the event? I know like the production team itself did tell us like this is basically your event to run,
Yeah.
and like we will just follow your lead. So what were like kind of some of the main things you were thinking about how to get this to run smoothly and how to make this like a really fan worthy event?
Yeah. That's a good question. And also because, at a certain point in my mind, I was like, oh, yeah, this is like the merch team's event. You know, like it's their event. They're just taking over the store. And then I think like the day before I spoke with them and they were like, Shelly, you run the show. You tell us. And even during the event, everyone's like, yeah, Shelly's in charge. Like, ask Shelly, ask Shelly. I was like, wait a second. When did that become my event? I really thought it was their event. So that part in of itself was also nice. But I think part of it was a collaboration between us and the merch team. So like the merch had to be emphasized. We had to like re-merchandise the store to really like emphasize the merch. And I also wanted people to move in and out of the space pretty quickly. So I don't know if the videos that other people have posted captured this, or just like if you were curious how it went. We essentially had folks come in here to the front part where they picked up their pre-ordered merch from heatedrivalry.com, and then in that side of the team, and then they went towards the back where like I basically gave them the business and like yelled at them about the signing requirements, because there was a limit on like the items that they could sign, and also the books had to be pre-ordered through us. That was part of it as well. And then once, you know, I kind of like verified that everyone had what they needed to have, then they got up there to meet the cast and get their book signed by the cast and Rachel, and also merch. I think my thing was like we have a limited space, so it was just kind of the mentality was like, let's get people in and out, which I was also worried about because I didn't want fans to feel like, oh my gosh, like I'm so rushed, like the person on staff there just yelled at me the whole time, and when I got up there, like I didn't even know what to say, or like but I think in seeing other people's experiences and hearing from them, a lot of people said that they had enough time to have a meaningful conversation with the cast and both Rachel. So I think from that aspect, it was well done, and that kind of aligned with my vision. But definitely I think the thing for me was I wanted to ensure that like fans could get what they want, but I also want to make sure that like the cast didn't feel overwhelmed, or that they didn't feel like unsafe in a sense of like there's too many people, they can't meaningfully talk to folks. So that was part of it. And I think anyone who knows me around that time, especially Kearston, I think I went over the layout of the store at least 7 times, and she would tell me, "Oh, we should do this, we should do that," and I was kind of like, "No, like I'm so sorry, but we're not doing that. Like we're gonna go in and out, in and out." And there was a whole like discussion of like 2 stations or 1 station, or like the order in which the cast should be sitting, and then where should Rachel be on the table, right? Like it was all these little details that I think ran smoothly in the event, but like leading up to it, it was like so much.
It seems
it's like
so simple.
Yes,
but it actually was like a bit of a like puzzle to solve, in the sense of like how to make this most efficient and safe and a good experience.
And I think too, like part of it is amazing. Like right now, like we've been open for a few months, so like we kind of have our feet under us. But I think especially in the planning phase, we had only just opened the store. Like it was maybe 6 or 7 weeks after we opened this location. So we were still like, how do events work here? Like how does anything work here? Like what should our store hours be, right? Like we were dealing with kind of like the newness of the space, in addition to like the newness of the scale of the event. So that was also a challenge. If people are curious about that, I don't know, I feel like we're talking about like planning a lot, but if anyone is genuinely interested in like the behind the scenes, I feel like it is useful.
Totally.
No.
And I will say we have gotten a lot of questions about this, about
Okay.
particularly because like it was very visual. You could see at one point that
Yeah.
there was lines like
True.
up to 2 to 3 blocks down the street.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were wondering like, how did you fit everybody in this tiny space? We were like, well, we didn't all at once.
Yes, not all at
It
once.
was just a very smooth running flow of people.
Yes, 100%. And everyone who was here, like the merch team was amazing. The PR team that worked with the cast and the merch team, also amazing. Like even the security guards were really nice. They kept like yelling at me, like, you know, like, are we gonna let in more people? Are we not gonna let in more people? Like, you know, so like during the event too, like everything just ran kind of smoothly and we were able to communicate well. Except there's one video someone posted, at whoever you are, I hope you find it. But there's a video where they like took like a pan of the store. They're like, oh my god, we're here for the event. And in that video, you could see me like, yelling at Kearston, but I wasn't yelling. Okay, like I never yell at Kearston, guys. But like the video looks like I'm going like, and like it looked so bad. Like, it looked like I was literally yelling at her. But I know that moment we were like having a very intense whisper debate about like the rules for signing items and stuff, right? But I just remember we were very like passionately like speaking to each other, but it looks like I'm yelling at her.
Yeah, no, when we've seen
like,
it,
incriminating.
we were laughing so hard at
No,
it too.
literally.
Like it looks so
bad. My friend sent it to me, and he was like, "Why are you yelling at Kearston?" And I screenshot it, and I was like, "Oh my god, guys! Like I look like a monster." So whoever has that video, like, thank you.
Yeah.
But like that, I think that's the video that lives most rent free in my mind. Is like, why does it look like I'm just yelling at you?
But we had a good laugh about it.
Yes,
so
yes.
Please know on our end it was
all good.
It was great.
So if you see that video, not even like me yelling in it, but just any video of like a pan of the store, that's kind of how it went. Like very intense discussion and like debate, but it all worked out. And I have had a lot of folks like tell me personally that like, you know, like thank you for doing this and stuff. So like that's always nice to hear. And on that note, we've also gotten a lot of thank yous for people internationally. Who we sent the books to, and I wonder if they're curious how we were able to get them to sign their books, because leading up to the event, I don't know how many calls or emails / texts would you estimate that we got a day leading up to the
per
event?
day, I would say
asking
honestly,
if we can get them to sign everything.
At least 25 a day. Yeah,
it was leading up to the event, at least 25 per day. And even just answering questions about like the event rules and stuff, which is totally normal. I think when you run a big event, like that totally happens. But because we were inundated with so much like requests to get everything signed, it also was part of the thing that I wanted to happen to the event, and it also weighed heavily on my mind. So leading up to it, that was another thing that I like had to work with on the PR team and merch team to figure out like, can they actually pre-sign? I will say the cast was like lovely, and even Rachel herself was so lovely. I always want to mention Rachel because she's like the superstar of the show, for me at least. But they were so nice to sign everything in advance, and I think part of why I wanted that, even aside from online orders, which I think it would have been nice if we were able to do it, but I wasn't. You know my thing. I never make any promises I don't keep. So like I definitely told everyone like I can't make any promises. Only Rachel had agreed to sign everything, and we'll see what we can do. But for me, the reason I wanted to get as much stuff pre-signed actually as we can is because I was worried in the event that like we can only fit 200 people, right? And there's still 100 people waiting to enter. That at least the folks who didn't get a chance to meet the cast would at least have like that memory, or at least the item. Absolutely. Because the cast had a hard cutoff time at 7 p.m. So I was like, if it has to end by 7, that means the earlier they can get here, the more stuff they can sign for us, the better. So we did put them to work a little bit in the back room, which was nice. And they were so kind to do that for us. But
and Hudson even wrote like personalized every copy. He wrote a little like unique little message. It was like a short message, but every one was different. He never used the same.
Yes. I think at one point though, Jacob Tierney was there, and Jacob is the best. So actually brag, my copy is signed by all the cast and Jacob, just so you know. But like even Jacob looked over and he was like, oh my god, Hudson, like you cannot cannot sign personalized message to everyone, right? So I think it maybe at some point did become just the jersey number, and then Connor saw that and he was like, I'm adding that. So that's kind of the signatures, and I think there were a lot of really fun ones. I took photos. Maybe we can superimpose a bunch of different photos.
Yes, the most unhinged
Hudson
personalized
things.
message.
My copy, like I have my own copies, but I also pre-order one from the store because I was like, wait, I made these signing rules and they're strict. My
They are.
own rules were very strict. So
Yes.
so
One thing I will say about Shelly is they follow their own rules.
yeah. So I was like crap. Like I was about to swear. I was like, can we swear on this? I guess I can. But I was like, shit, I got to pre-order my own copy because we're gonna sell out, and
Yes.
like I need my own copy signed. So in my copy that I took home, like that Hudson pre-signed, he wrote like, I spit on this, and I was like, okay, I'm not sending this internationally. Like it's gonna get stopped by Canadian Border Services, and they're gonna be like, what is this item?
Yes.
So that's the one that I took home, but I think someone out there probably has like an even more iconic one than I do. So if you put it in the comments if you got one that says something even more unhinged, like please let me know.
Put in the comments what does your copy say?
What does your copy say?
Sign, your signature.
Yes, and they also sign copies of The Long Game, which is
Yes.
also really appreciated.
Yes.
As well. So you might have a double signature, but those I think were more limited. But yeah, I think I'll look if I can find the pictures and superimpose them, because I think the Crave team took a really nice film photo of them signing, and it's in our back room.
Yes.
I think it was on one of their reels. Yes. I was like, oh my god, I recognize where they are. Like the pile of books is our pile of books. I think people also don't, something they might not think about too is like when you're asking people to sign or like handle that volume of items, we physically had to lay out like over 200 copies of books and like pre-fold them and pass them. It was like an assembly line of employees over here on that day. So I think like with events like this, there's lots of little details that sometimes you need to think about, like, oh my gosh, and then we had to buy fancy water for the cast. We were like debating like what water would they like.
We're like, we can't get them like any cheapo water. We need to give them like a supreme experience at our store.
So we were like, how many waters and lunch and food, and so that aspect of it too. It's all the little details. But yes, I think too. Anyway, so to answer the first question of how did the event come to be, is because I'm a huge Rachel Reid fan, and sometimes when you want things in life, you just have to go for it.
Yes,
that's the lesson. That's
a good lesson. Yeah. Okay, so now we get to the actual day of.
Yeah.
Tell us about Hudson and Connor.
Okay.
How are they like in real life? Are they like how we see online? Any tidbits you can share?
Yes. So they're definitely 100% exactly how you see online. Their friendship is really amazing. Both of their personalities are really nice. I would say Hudson is like as unhinged as he appears to be. Like any of the interviews that he does, he genuinely like speaks that way. He's like really awesome in that regard. And Connor is like, he's like a sweet angel. Like I would say both of them are just amazing actors in the sense of when you meet them in real life, like amazing personalities, and then when you watch them on the show, they really bring out those characters in distinct ways that are very like natural. So I think in terms of like like their acting, like amazing actors, because I met them in real life and I could say like, okay, these are like genuine awesome humans, but they're so different than how they are on the show.
Totally.
Which is I think also cool.
It's like a sign of a good art, right? And like I would say that like honestly, if you see the 2 videos that went viral with us dancing to the Glee, that is like exactly, I would say, like how they are, like they're 2 different personalities. You can really see it when we did those viral TikToks. So to me, I was like not surprised in that sense of like wow, like they really are genuine humble people. They're really nice. I know another question that people ask, speaking of those TikToks, is like, whose idea was it? And I'm sorry to burst anyone's bubble, it was my idea. So all the people are like, oh, I bet this was Connor's idea, I bet this was like Hudson's idea. I'm like, no, it was my idea. Okay, while we're on this topic of this TikTok, because we do get a lot of questions about these particular TikToks. Number one is who is filming?
I'm not gonna share. Sorry. Some secrets are meant to be kept.
Yes, we want you to keep that. Whoever you think was filming.
Yes.
We want you to continue thinking that.
And then, but in terms of the idea, I had a list of like TikToks that I sent to the PR team, and like they're so funny. Like my contact there, when we were like getting the book signed, I was like, okay, like the Crave team came and did all their content. The merch team also did all their content, and they did an amazing job. They had a full content plan. Like they were ready to go. I was actually in awe because I was like, whoa, like at the time, I think even now, I would say we were still like working on our content game. But at the time, especially, I was like, whoa, like, oh my gosh, like, like they're taking it so seriously, everything's so planned, like that's like amazing. And then when I saw how many videos they got out of that one afternoon, I'm like, okay,
Yes.
like that's why they're the pros.
Yes. So yes, it really, when you were seeing
Yes.
all of the TikToks and you're like, why are they always in this pink store?
Yeah,
it was our store. It
Yeah,
was here. They
yeah.
came like fully prepared.
Yes, they were very prepared. So like I'm kudos to them because that's like amazing, and I wish I had that level of skill, and I don't. But anyway, so I sent them my list of ideas, and they haven't had time to like go through it. They're like, okay, like why don't you just show us the videos? And I was like, oh my god, you're putting me on the spot. I have to show them these like 8 videos, and some of them require like at least watching in advance.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this dancing one is kind of the one that I'll go with.
Easiest, yeah.
And when I click to open it, I have screen limits on my phone. So I literally got a screen limit, and the PR person was like, oh, Shelly, like, this is your screen limit. And Connor made fun of me. He was like, oh, you use screen limits? I was like, okay, well, I don't want to, like, it's a rabbit hole. It's a cesspool. So we talked about that a little bit, too. But anyway, so I showed it to them. She's like, yeah, just ask them if they want to do it. I was like, oh, okay. So I asked, like, Connor and Hudson, like, separately if they wanted to, oh, there's people trying to enter the store. Yeah, you can come on in. Yeah, you can come on in.
Come on, just don't mind us, no?
Just don't mind us. We're just, yeah. Okay, we're back. So I showed them the videos. They were like game to film them. So yeah, we filmed them. It was very nice. They were very nice about it.
Yes. It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Some of the other concepts were cool though, but it's been so much time since then that I even forgot what I'd saved, which is probably for the best. So
Yes.
I'm not like thinking
No
of like,
regrets.
oh,
Yeah.
no regrets. Like I'm happy. I was like, you know what, we just need one. And
Yes.
they also did a lot of really nice posed photos for us.
Yeah.
But then I was thinking about it, I think like last night, and I was like, I really should have had them hold a copy of my book.
You should have, yeah.
Like that was, I took the L
Yeah.
on that. But yeah, we have some cute photos that I haven't shared anywhere, I think. Because I was like, I don't know what I was saving them for, but I was like, these are like nice photos of them in our store to use at a later time. And I guess that later time is now. I think that's part of my promise.
Yes, yeah,
so
exactly.
we will share them.
Okay, one last cast question.
Okay.
And it is one that we get actually the most, I would say. Like,
Okay.
that is shocking.
I'm nervous.
What do Hudson and Connor smell like?
Yeah, I'm not answering that. I don't think I could even remember.
Yeah, me too. I'm like,
I didn't pay attention to it. I was not that close to them.
Yeah.
But just like something we did not actively think or search for.
Exactly.
In our experience with them. So sorry. I did receive like a personal DM asking that, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna answer this.
Okay, on the topic of merch, Heated Rivalry merch.
Yes.
Do we have any merch left? How do we get that?
No. The only place to buy it is heatedrivalry.com. Yes.
Do we have any signed copies left?
Unfortunately, we sold out prior to the event. So I've been actually very diligent about when I see this question, actually answering it, because I don't want to mislead people or like let people think that we have them, but we really don't. So unfortunately, we don't have any signed copies.
Is there any plans to get more signed copies?
Not at the moment, guys. I don't want to say like never say never, but I think I can't. If you watched from the beginning of this video, you know I don't make promises I can't keep. So at the time, no. At this time, no. And we're filming when? January 13, I think.
Yes.
So as of January 13, the answer is no. That may change.
Any plans for a cast and author meet and greet for season 2?
I think you probably know better than I do, but I think stuff like that is out of our control. If we can do it, yes. If we can't do it, that is probably a reality that unfortunately even I myself have to accept. But I'm working on manifesting an extras appearance. I feel like me and you should like just be in the stands.
Yeah,
on
Jacob, if you hear this.
Yeah, Jacob, Brendan. Love ya.
Please include us.
Yeah, you have my number. Call me.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you just need like a random side character, I'm really good at like playing like a sibling. I feel like I would be good if someone has like a sibling on the show. I'm like too excited that I like just the idea of it that I can't remember who.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head right now, but if there's like a little
I feel like
character,
they should shop in the store. They should be on a date in the store.
Yeah, someone bring them on a date. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, last question for Heated Rivalry expert Shelly.
Okay.
Do you have to read the series in order?
Yes. I know I was even telling this to people like during the event because some of them had only read book 1 or like they were buying it and like going to read the series. Book 2 like Heated Rivalry and then the long game, but you really need to read the whole series. Like book 1 Game Changer, it's Game Changer for a reason. That's the series. That's the name of the series, right? Like And then the rest of it, like the cameos, not just of Shane and Elia, but like all the characters that come up and they all become friends. And by the time you read the long game, you get all these like I don't know. I just like love a good little Easter egg in a book, and I feel like the series just ties itself so greatly together in terms of the rest of the characters appearing and like supporting Shane and Elia. And I feel like in Unrivaled, we're gonna get that vibe for sure as well. So I feel like if you haven't read it yet, you need to catch up, and then you need to come back and talk to me about book 5, Role Model, because that is my favorite one. And I did tell Jacob that. I was like, please have Troy and Harris in season 2. So fingers crossed, guys.
Right. Thank you, Shelly, for this tell all. Any more questions? Put it in the comments.
Yes.
And we will answer those too.
Yes. I was gonna say I don't want to do a part 2. Oh yeah, bye.
Maybe.
I don't want to do a part 2 because this is already like 3 parts probably. But
True.
But if we have to do a part 7, sure.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Yeah. But yeah, leave any questions, comments. Bye.